Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man, Moray DB. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know what's going on. IG, Elephant Man _ podcast, Facebook /podcast, Twitter /Poster Boys, and you can hit the Paleo Hebrew in the top right or the bottom right corner of your screen to share and to subscribe on Facebook. Woke Baby says subscribe. Blessings to everybody. Blessings to everybody. This is a day that the Most High have made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Came on a little bit late, but better late than never. Um, so blessings to you all coming into the chat. Blessings to those who are playing on playback and whatever. Um, I wanted to do one or two parts dealing with the high priest. I'm going to go with that first with the high priest, because hopefully we really get it done in two parts, maybe three parts. But I think it's very, very interesting, and I don't want people to be thinking that it's like that it's just like Jeopardy knowledge. You know what I mean? It's like Acorn has blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? How people just be knowing random things, but the history of the word of the Most High Yah, and you know, shout out to True Israel, blessings to the stranger. The history of the Most High Yah um, is important. It tells a story, right? Nobody can manipulate you or intimidate you if you know exactly where you come from and how everything is panned out. And the story of the high priest, is very, very powerful. And shalom and blessed to everybody coming in. Abba Yah, in the name of Yahushua, we just worship you. And you said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw men unto me. There's none like you in the heavens or the earth. And we lift you up, we honor you, we adore you, we worship you. So blessings to everybody who's coming in, and blessings to those who plan in the playback. Um, we hope that this bless you. And again, look at it as historical family tree information for True Israel, and not just some Jeopardy knowledge. Because contrary to popular opinion, people believe that the things that happen in the Old Testament are done. They're done. We don't need no longer need the Old Testament. We have the New Testament. But I challenge you, some stuff were fulfilled, some things were fulfilled, some things of prophecies are yet to be fulfilled. And Yahushua himself quoted the Torah. I hear that a lot too. It's either, all right, you got Yahushua, you don't need the word no more. No, the word is the plumb line. The word is the plumb line, right? The word is not ancient and archaic and done away with. So amazing how people teach that. The word is needed. Even when Yahushua was in the wilderness, he spoke the Torah. It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that come out of the word of the Most High, right? Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy Yah, right? He the one quoted that. But I'm going to this about the high priest, and I'm gonna show a picture. Very interesting little picture right here. I had to get some representation. I had to look high and low, right? And I don't know if you ever seen me with my picture. I had my little the ephod on or whatever. I'm not saying I'm a high priest. It's it's the well, he did say he's coming for kings and priests, but I just think that this is very cool work. Shout out to my brother who did this for me down in Texas. But anyway, this is what it's referring to, or what it's supposed to represent, the breastplate. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna read, and we're probably gonna have to do two parts, maybe three, because I don't want to. I mean, present. We're gonna go right into it. I think it's very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. Again, don't look at it as Jeopardy knowledge, right? It's just random information, but it's very, very important. Now, the very first time that they was talked about priests were um, in Mount Sinai, and I'm gonna get into the order of Melchizedek in a minute, but not right now. I said prior to Sinai, we have seen few priests, Melchizedek and Jethro, but for the most part, sacrifices were offered by the patriarchs on behalf of his family. However, as the nation of Israel was formed in the wilderness at the foot of Mount Sinai, Yah set up a specific pattern for atonement for sin, so that the people encamped around him might be cleansed from their sin and remain a holy people, right? And we know the finished work. Let me get a disclaimer for people start tripping. We know the finished work of Yahushua HaMashiach, but that's in part two. I don't want to put the cart before the horse and jump ahead. I just want to walk right into it. Priest Cohen, from the word we get the Hebrew surname Cohen. The etymology of the word is obscure. The priests were charged with ministering to the Most High first and foremost daily, that offered sacrifices, burned incense in the holy place, and tended the lamps and lampstand. Weekly they renewed the bread at the presence and ate the old loaves. Their first focus is on the Most High Yah, right? So I want to be able to go into that. Let's read that real quick. All right, the garments. So am I projecting the garments? No, I'm projecting. Let's do this. I'm going to project the picture. Project the picture. All right. And I'm going to read 28. So it had the linen turban, the plate of pure gold with some subscriptions on insignias on it, the ephod, shoulder straps, the breastplate of judgment, the stones of memorial, the ephod, the 4 rows of stones, the chain of gold, embroidered sash. So let's read that real quick. Okay. So, and take unto thee Aaron thy brother. This is the Most High talking to Moshe, and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that ye may minister unto me a priest in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. Thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise hearted, from I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that they may minister unto me uh, the priest's office. These are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, and an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a mitre, and a girdle. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, and they shall minister unto me in the priest's office. So remember, everybody had got inheritance, right? But the Levi, the tribe of Levi, was set aside to only minister to the Most High in the temple, inner court, outer court, and the holies of holies. And they shall make gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. We'll go over those colors later. And they shall make the ephod of gold, blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and fine twined linen, and cunning work. And it shall have 2 shoulder pieces thereof, join the 2 edges thereof, so it shall be joined together. And the cuirass girdle of the ephod, which is upon it, shall be the same according to the work thereof, even gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen. Let me quit sharing that screen real quick. All right. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the children of Israel, 6 of their names on one stone, and 6 of the names uh, rest on the other stone, which according to their birth. And the work of the engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, thou shalt engrave 2 stones with the names of the children of Israel. Thou shalt make them to be set in ouches of gold. And thou shalt put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod, for the stones of memorial to the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Most High upon the 2 shoulders for memorial. So this is an interesting part right here, and I want to jump ahead of myself as far as Isaiah 9, when he said the government shall rest on his shoulders. And we know Yahusha is the high priest. And 12 is the number of government. And so if he has Israel insignia on the shoulder pads, right? And even in the breastplate, he didn't replace Israel, because a lot of times people don't know what to do with this. So it's just like, okay, every place where it says Israel, I guess we got to be spiritual Israel as the church. No, the predominantly Gentile churches grafted in, but they didn't replace Israel, right? blindness upon them came until the fullness of the Gentiles come in, right? So um, let's go ahead. And he shall put 2 stones upon his shoulders. Oh, I want to show that picture again. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to take my time with this teaching. See? Right where it says ephod shoulder straps, that's where the names of Israel, 6 on each shoulder, right? I think that's very interesting. All right, let's go. Verse 13, and thou shalt take 2 ounces of gold, 2 chains of pure gold in the ends, and the wreathen work thou shalt make of them, and fasten the wreathen chains of the ouches. So Most High was real specific, right? He was real specific back then. The measurements, what what material to use, how to use it, right? Um, and they needed some breathable material what they couldn't sweat in, because sweat represented work. You know what I mean? But the Most High is basically it's like you minister unto me, you cease from your own works, and you enter into my rest. Thou shalt make a breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod, thou shalt make it gold, blue, purple, scarlet, fine twined linen. Shalt thou make it 4 square? It shall be double. A span shall be the length thereof. A span shall be the breadth thereof. And thou shalt set it in settings of stone. Let me show that picture real quick. All right, here we go. Finish reading it. And thou shalt set in the stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be sardis stone, topaz, and carbuncle. Thou shalt be the first row. The second row shall be emerald, sapphire, and diamond. Specific stones in specific rows. And the third shall be ligure, agate, and amethyst. And the fourth row shall be beryl, onyx, and jasper. And they shall be set in gold in their enclosures. And the stone shall be with the names of the children of Israel, 12, according to the names, like the engravings of the signet. Everyone with his name shall be according to the 12 tribes. And thou shalt make upon a breastplate chains at the end of wreathen work of pure gold. And thou shalt make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold. And he's explaining what he wants in there. But again, remember, Most High's his heart is about the nations. It always have been and always will be about the nations. And we always know to whom much is given, much is required, right? So the Most High gave he gave um the the how can I say it? He gave the oracles, he gave the prophecies, he gave the promises to the children of Israel, right? Now, when the children to whom much is given, much is required, because children of Israel knew better. They weren't like the other camps around them that worship Baal and Ashtoreth and Dagon and Molech. They knew better. They worshiped the Most High of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they were supposed to lead by example to the other nations, right? That's what they're supposed to do: lead by example to the other nations, right? But he never got done with Israel, despite the misconception we got today. So Ruby represents Simeon, right? He was the first son. Second one was Simon. Third one, Levi. Fourth one was Judah. Fifth, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Joseph, and then Benjamin was the last. All right. So Joseph is pretty much Ephraim and Manasseh too, but we'll get into that later, right? So he always cared about the nations. He always cared about his creation. The government was on his, that's his breastplate. He is the Yahusha is the high priest. And I want to make sure we go into that, right? Thou shalt make a breastplate of judgment of cunning work after the work of the ephod. 4 squares shall be doubled and the span thereof. So that's what they wore. Okay. Look something like this. Okay. And there they go. The order of the the stones that was put in there. So the Most High was real articulate, and he was real. He told us what to do and how to do it. If he say I need it to be four square. That's what we make it. We don't make it round. We don't change it. Contrary to popular belief, we had the heathen take our book, add, take away from it, and then teach it back to us. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a restoration of of his kingdom. It's going to be a restoration of how he do things, right? Because we let other folk that they do, they want the Most High to be in their image and their likeness, right? But the Most High, like, no, no, no. I got a way. It's set up. There's a way that seems right into a man, but the end thereof is death. I have a way set up already. I got it. You just got to follow it. So we listen to the heathen. They take our book and they teach it to us wrong. They give us bits and pieces of it, but then we need to ask the Most High Yah. That's why you got to read the word for yourself, and you got to have a relationship with the Most High Yah, and He'll share with you. And some of the stuff might be contrary to some of the stuff you learn in synagogues and churches. But you ask the Most High about it, and He'll lead you and guide you into all truth. Abba Yah is not the author of confusion, right? Okay, I was trying to get to the Urim and the Thummim. I want to see what's that at. Verse 29, and Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart. See that? The nations upon his heart. Not just Israel, but all nations, because 12 represent the government. That's the reason why Yahushua had 12 disciples. And then when Judas did what he did, he replaced uh, Judas, right? Because he had that he didn't have to have 12, but that's the way he got it set up. And when he goeth into the holy place for a memorial before the Most High continually, and thou shalt put a breastplate of judgment, the Urim and the Thummim. Here we go. That's what I wanted to get to. The Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goes in before the Most High. And he shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Most High continually. So I'm going to show this picture of this Urim and this Thummim. Okay? It's like that, like two stones. So the Urim and the Thummim are objects that appear in the Bible as part of the high priest's breastplate, um, which was attached to the ephod, the apron-like garment. The Urim and the Thummim were given to the Israelites by Yah for the use of the high priests and prophets for protection and revelation. So, they would go in, and it was a kind of way of casting lots. They would ask the Most High for direction, right? And they would use these stones. And they were possibly made of metal and precious stones. I think more likely precious stones. And inscribed with symbols. They have been used like lots to help determine Yah's response to questions that could be answered with yes or no. Now, the enemy say he wants to be like the Most High Yah. And I find it very interesting. And I thought about this like a couple of years ago. If you look at the Ouija board, and when they dealing with these unfamiliar spirits, and don't mess with the Ouija board, because the dead know nothing. You don't want to get into necromancy. But I'm showing you this because it got yes in his left corner and no in that right corner. And I said he wants to be like the Most High Yah so bad that he got his stuff trying to mimic the Most High stuff. So I digress. And even the number 7, is the number of the Most High Yah. We use it in the roll dice and the lucky number 7 and all this old stuff, and the unclean rabbit. We got the rabbit foot and a lot of different things. And um, the rainbow was covenant, right? They took the rainbow and changed it to something else. And he's always he try to change the things of the Most High Yah all the time. He always trying to change the things of the Most High Yah. But he wants worship like the Most High Yah, but he doesn't get it. Praise Yah. All right. I want to go talk about the inner court, outer court, and holies of holies. Okay, so let's go right here. And there shall be a hole at the top of it, wove in the midst of it, and it shall have a binding and woven work around the whole of it, as it were a whole of the harpagon, that it might not be rent. And he was just talking about the robe of the ephod. And beneath upon the hem, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet, and bells of gold. So we knew that the high priest only can go into the holies of holies once a year for atonement, the Day of Atonement, the Yom Kippur, right? To give an offering and minister to the Most High Yah. And we knew that he did that once a year. You got a priest and a high priest. So only the high priest, let me show this. right? So that yellow, that gold is supposed to be that's the holies of holies. So you got the inner court. Oh, do I got the other picture loaded? So let's show this picture first. So you got the outer court, the inner court, and then the holies of holies. If you're looking from right to left, right? Outer court, altar of burnt offerings, the laver when they wash their hands, then they go on through the doors. There's a tabernacle of showbread, right? And it was 12 bread pieces of bread on there, right? Represent the 12 tribes, and then the menorah, the candlestick, right? It's the light. Yahushua said, "I'm the light of the world. I'll be a light to your feet and a lamp to your path." And then the altar of incense, right? Represent worship and prayer, right? Then these four right here represent the holies of holies. The Ark of the Covenant was in there, right? With the glory of the Most High Yah. The Ark of the Covenant was in there. And only the high priest can go in there. And he only can go in there once a year to atone for the sins of the people, right? And for himself too. He only can go once. Inner court, outer court, and holies of holies. So he would go in there and he would have these bells on the bottom. I don't know if I got that picture. Let me show this picture again. The bells on the bottom, right? Checkered, checkered linen coat, and they had the bells and the pomegranates at the bottom. So they would say that if the high priest go in and he wasn't all the way together, right? He would drop dead in the holies of holies, and they would have to pull him out. So he would go in there with a string around, not a string, a rope around his foot, and he would go in there and minister to the Most High, and these bells would ring, ding, ding, ding. You know what I'm saying? They would make sound while he's in there, and them bells and pomegranates quit making noise, then they know, hey man, it ain't right. It's not well. You know, we got some issues going on. Pull them out, cause you can't go into the holies of holies, right? Cause you would die, right? Even the regular priests couldn't go into the holies of holies because they would die. Only the Most High, the high priest that was for the Most High could go up in there. Okay, so let's get rid of that. What was I reading? Okay, bale of pomegranate and gold bale, and it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goeth into the holy place. That's what I was talking about before the Most High, and when he cometh out, that he did not die. You know what I'm saying? So that was a very serious thing. The way he deals, um, I don't know, because people say we're in dispensation of grace. You know, Ananias the fire fell over dead for lying, and earth opened up and swallowed folk, and whatever, if it ain't well, you'll know right away. You know what I mean? Sodom and Gomorrah, quick judgment. You know what I mean? And so now this dispensation of grace, the Most High is long suffering. He's not asleep or slack concerning his promises, but he don't want no man to perish. He want every man to repent and come into the knowledge of who he is. Long suffering is a form of grace and mercy, right? He's not a pushover, but he's patient, right? Um, so and thou shalt make a plate of pure gold and grave upon it like the gravers of signet, holiness unto the Most High Yah. So back to that picture. Um, and I'm probably gonna be able to get to this all today. That's what it's looking like. This little gold plate that said holiness unto the Most High Yah, right? And we know that Yahusha, and I know I'm kind of going ahead of myself, but Yahusha, he had what? A crown of thorns smashed upon his head, right? He is, see, Yahusha covers all bases. And I guess I'm jumping ahead of the game. But Yahusha, finished work of Yahusha covers all bases. Because it said what? When he was dying, and he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my Yah, my Abba Yah, why have you forsaken me? Right? He put the whole sins upon the world upon him, right? He had to be the Passover lamb. That's why he died on the Passover. He had to be a scapegoat. The high priest used to lay hands on the scapegoat and send him out into the wilderness, right? For the people and then for himself. And after John, which was in the office of the high priest, laid hands on the most Yahusha, and then it said it was a symbol like a dove. The ruach is not a dove. The Ruach HaKodesh is not a dove. This is how they described it. Symbol like a dove. He came down and ascended upon him, or descended upon him. And then you heard a voice from the Shemayim saying, "This is my son in whom I'm well pleased." And then after he did that, then he went to say in Luke 4, he went out into the wilderness. So that right there, in my opinion, is him laying hands on the scapegoat. So he's the Passover lamb, he's the scapegoat, he's also he's the bread. So he's the bread of life. So you got the bread on there. He's the lamp. He's the menorah stand. I'm kind of going ahead of the game, but that's okay. I reiterated on the second part. He's all of that. I say he's all of that, but you know what I mean. Um, his finished work. That's why he said when he died, um, he said it is finished. And then what it said, the holies of holies ripped from top to bottom. There's a curtain right here. You see where these pegs are before you get into that goal? The holies of holies ripped into top to bottom. So it's like we can boldly go before the throne of grace. And that mercy seat, where it had the two cherubims and it had the blood on the mercy seat. And you know, inside the Ark of the Covenant was Aaron's blood that rotted, the commandments, and oh man, how can I forget? Aaron's blood that rotted, the Ten Commandments, and I think, oh, put it in the chat. Golly, there's three things that's in the holies of holies, inside the Ark of the Covenant. Um, yeah. So it said after he died, and he said it is finished. What is finished? The atonement of sin once and for all for those who believe. Right? They don't have to go every year. Now we celebrate it. He's, as often you do this in remembrance of me. We rather do that than the pagan festivals and holidays that the heathen want us to partake in. So, but it's not to atone for sins anymore. We don't take bulls and goats, and even in over in Israel right now, they got heifers and all that stuff. Oh, so I think somebody might have put it in the chat. Let me see. Yeah, right. Rod that budded duality. Where's up today? Okay, I'll read this. Manna. Yeah, manna. That's what it was. Aaron's rod that budded the tablets and the manna. Thank you for awakenings, for hooking me up. I knew one of y'all was gonna get it. We chewing the fat. Thank you, family. So anyway, it said the the veil rent or ripped from top to bottom, which means we can boldly come before the throne of grace, which means he is the high priest, and because of him, he atoned for the sin. That's why I said, John said, "Behold, the Lamb of Yah who takes away the sins of the world." He didn't say cover. If you read the translation, say the high priest will cover. All right, we good for a year, right? You happy, you festive, right? The high priest went to the holies of holies just once a year, right? He made atonement. He didn't fall over dead. We didn't have to pull him out by his leg. Bam, bet. The Most High is appeased. But it was a shadow of things to come until Yahusha came. So it's like bet. But now guess what? Months get to rolling. You start feeling some kind of way. Sins coming back around. You 6 months removed. I don't know how long it took before they started being conscious about it again. You have to do it all over again. When Yahusha died, he's like, it is finished. It said the curtain of the holies of holies ripped from top to bottom, which means we can freely go into the holies of holies, boldly come before the throne of grace. Amen. Praise the Most High Yah. We thank him for all the many blessings that he bestowed upon us with that. Very cool, very cool, very cool. So I'm trying to go on. Okay, I went covered the garments. Okay. So I will get into, matter of fact, let me see what time I'm working with. Ooh, 30 minutes in. Time flies when you're having fun. All right. I wanted to go into Aaron's coat. No, that's not what I want to go into. Stop sharing. All right, so I wanted to get into that Melchizedek, but I might just stop and go into Melchizedek in the second part. But in closing for today, I'm going to record the second part while I'm rolling and just release that mug tomorrow. Or no later than Tuesday. The Most High, the nations are on His heart, right? It's about a restoration of family. It's about a restoration of the kingdom of the Most High Yah, right? The government rests upon His shoulders. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and read that scripture. Let me read that scripture real quick. Share the screen. Isaiah 9. Okay, Isaiah 9. All right, 96. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. Now this is amazing because Isaiah wasn't, he wasn't around by the time Yahushua came, but we was all waiting for all throughout Torah, all throughout Scripture, we was waiting for Yahushua to come on the scene and redeem Israel from oppression and the oppressor. But as I mentioned before, when he came upon the scene, they was oppressed. They were just finished being oppressed by Greece. Before that, Persia, and before that, Babylon and Assyria, and blah 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 blah. Now they're oppressed by Rome, right? If you start reading Matthew, that's a Roman rule. And he's like, "Bet Mashiach on the scene. He about to deliver us from. He about to deliver us from Rome." But he said, "No, I'm coming the first time as the Lamb, right? The Passover to atone. When I come back, I'm establish my kingdom and come back as the lion." They wanted him to do the lion, be the lion right then and there, which he is the Lion of Judah. He's from the tribe of Judah, but it wasn't time. He does everything decency and in order, right? And he don't jump the gun. He fulfilling prophecy. And all the time you read through the whole, it says this this is done so the scripture can be fulfilled here, so it can be fulfilled there, right? So Isaiah 9:6, unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulder. This is what I want to show y'all. Because I told you 12 was a number of government. And if he's the high priest, I'm kind of going ahead of myself, but it's okay. He's the high priest, and you got 6 tribes on one shoulder, 6 tribes on the other shoulder. So that's showing the government shall be upon his shoulder, right? Uh, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty Yah, Everlasting Father, and the Sar Shalom, or the Prince of Peace. And the increase of his government and the peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom in order to order it and to establish it with just judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Most High hosts, Adonai Sevaot, what is it, the Lord of hosts, Adonai Sevaot, will perform this. So this is what's going to happen. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Right? We're representatives of another kingdom. His kingdom is coming. And it will be an end to the present day kingdom. And the only kingdom that will survive is, or will thrive, I should say, is the kingdom of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's the only kingdom that's going to survive. Because it's going to be an end, you know, the Gentile age. You see the statue that in Daniel that Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about. It said the head was made of gold, the arms were made of silver, the middle part was made of bronze, the legs were made of iron, and then the feet were made of iron and clay. And we're at that iron and clay part, right? Which means they're not together. They're scattered. They're not together. It's iron and clay. They're not strong, right? They're not together. And then it said we see a rock not made by hands come and smash that statue up, and then it became an exceedingly great mountain. That's Yahushua HaMashiach's kingdom at the end of the age. We're going to that too. We'll share some of that, and then we're going to go into that Hebrews 7, and then Genesis 14, when it talks about Abraham after he came back from battling with the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham gave an offering to a priest, high priest of the order of Melchizedek. But that mystery, it is very, very much a mystery because Levi wasn't born yet. If we say he's the Abba of Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob, and then from Jacob come the 12 tribes, the 12 sons, uh, and Levi is one of the sons. They wasn't even born. They wasn't even born yet. Isaac, let alone Jacob, right? Well, Isaac might have been born at that time. Um, but I know Jacob wasn't born, and the 12 tribes that came from his loins wasn't born yet. So how can you get a high priest offering before the high priest was even established, before they was even born? So that's the mystery in uh, Hebrews 7 and Psalm 110 and uh, Genesis 14. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to be able to get into all that. So let's read some of these. Again, this is not Jeopardy knowledge. It's not trying to be deep. I like this stuff. I like our history. I love our history. And it just hit different knowing that it's our history book. You know, Chronicles and First and Second Kings and First and Second Samuel and all these different books. They just hit different when, you know. All right, so let's read what people had to say. Shalom, awakening. I'm not the sun coming out. I'm outside. Matter of fact, let me see. Take the camera on. Oh man, I'm about to put the camera back on. Kialik, right in my eye. All right, so let me read these before we get on up out of here. What group wears that today? Expound on that. You might see us in fringes sometimes and stuff like that, but that was the garments used by the high priest. Why do you see the Holy Grail? What the Holy Grail is? I will. I can. We can look into that as well. And I know what's his name? Truth Unedited. He be really busting it up. Amazing. Shalom, Ernest Higgs. All right. It says Shalom, Luciana. Um, man, I can't see because of the sun on my face. The whole thing is about us. Oh, thank you for saying it's a nice lesson. You know, I be wanting to go live online, preach up on preaching because I be going fast sometimes. I might miss some stuff out. And you know what? We might not know everything in detail. That's why we come on and we learn together, right? You got to be a student. Amores is not just a teacher, but he's a student. He never stops being a student. He's a student teacher, right? And he's a teacher student. I should say it like that. So we get on here, we learn. We don't know something, man. We go look it up, right? We go study it. We study to show ourselves approved. So the next part I am going to get into how he's the high priest because it's a mystery, guys, because he's from the tribe of Judah. It talks about his lineage in Matthew's. Yahushua is from the tribe of Judah. Judah means praise, right? He's from the tribe of Judah. So how is he a high priest? Because the high priest came from the tribe of Levi. We're going to get into that on the next one. So anyway, I thank you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the lesson. I got a scratchy throat for some reason. I'm going to give me some coffee or something and watch this game. And hopefully the Timberwolves can beat Dallas. But I kind of want Kyrie to win too, but I'm getting off subject. So Elephant Man Podcast Network. Grown Men Conversation. Dylan Evans in the room. I am out. Perfect.